Hey guys, we're back with Messy on Purpose, and I have Aaron here with me today. He's going to teach us about real estate and what he's got going on. So, you want to start by introducing yourself?
Yeah, my name's Aaron Lambert. I am a real estate investor local here to Las Vegas. Not from Las Vegas, but live here for since 2020. And yeah, I invest all over the country, including Vegas, Florida, Texas. Do a lot of like co-living, Airbnbs, fix and flips. Yeah, that's pretty much me right now. Yeah.
Right now, you've done plenty.
Yes, yes. It seems to be morphing. I've found a path in real estate that I wish I would have started from the beginning, which is co-living, because co-living is growing need, right? And it's huge returns for the investor.
And explain like what co-living
So
is.
co-living is a huge umbrella for any properties where you're putting multiple unrelated people in. The main one that I focus on, well, I don't want to say the main, but there's a company out there called Pad Split, and what they do is they rent by the room per week. So, like, we'll take this house is a 3-3, right? And we'll convert the garage, turn that into 2 bedrooms, maybe the loft area turn into a bedroom. So we'll turn this 3-bedroom house into like maybe 5, 6, or 7 bedrooms, and then rent them out per week to these people that are not necessarily like, well, they're like on the lower income spectrum, but they just don't have the means to go get an apartment, go furnish the apartment. So we furnish it, we pay all the utilities, and they get a really smoking deal, and they just pay weekly.
Kind of reminds me of like dorms in college.
Yes, yeah, co-living. So college
I
dorms
get it.
is co-living.
Yeah.
There's co-living right there. And then there's co-living like you're on your more licensed, like assisted living, like your old folks home, that's co-living. Any type of like you can turn this into a assisted living. Well, maybe not with the stairs, but where you have in-house nurses that live here, or you got your like lower tiered assisted living where it's just kind of like older folks and they're just all just kind of like chilling, hanging out, you know. And then you got your other types that are like sober living, women's shelters. These are all forms of co-living. So when I say a co-living, is a huge umbrella of a lot of different genres underneath it. But
Which ones do you focus on?
so currently I'm focused on the pad split model, and then also working with a gentleman out in Houston, for veterans. He does veterans, so it's like I supply the property, he fills it with veterans. And then out here in Vegas, I have a couple people that I'm working with on independent living, and then more of like your well, the other lady, she's an operator and she does sober livings for women. She does veterans as well. So she's just like big genre. Yeah, so the way that I operate is I partner with people that are really good at what they do because I'm not good at everything.
So that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
you need other people's skills to make like a big
Yeah,
project work.
absolutely. I think that partnering with somebody that knows what the heck's going on is the fastest way for you or for me, anybody to learn, in my opinion.
Yeah, and like keeping ego aside, like you don't go into something like I know everything. You go in like I'm gonna find people who know about this.
Yeah, I want them to have the ego about knowing everything.
Which I mean, I know that you go to a lot of like meetups and like networking events to
Yeah.
kind of like network with people with different skill sets and
Yeah,
different
absolutely.
knowledge.
Yeah, like last night we went to one here in town. There was a lot of real estate agents and then fix and flippers. So
Oh,
that's good because me and my partner Ben here in town, we're doing a lot of flips. We have, I think, 4, and we got another one about to close on. So trying to get that going.
you guys have like Airbnbs and stuff together too, right?
No, the Airbnbs are on with me and my wife.
Oh, that's just you and your wife.
Yeah, me and Ben mostly just focus on wholesale and now fix and flips. So we partner up with
Oh,
a lady here in town. We have a new company called Flipping Crazy Homes, and we we just do fix and flips here in Vegas. We might branch out just because Vegas is it's super competitive and the margins are really thin, you know.
okay.
So we might maybe do something in California or like
The
Phoenix.
margins are better in California.
Well, the larger like you so like your medium price point house out there is more,
Mhm.
right? So, and there's more opportunity out there because, California, especially Southern California, it's not just It's not just like Orange County. It's like, well, Orange County is a county, but it's not like just Los Angeles. You got Los Angeles and then all the little cities. Like here, it's like
Right.
Vegas and Henderson
There's, like, nothing here.
and the desert. Right? So there's so much more opportunity out there. So the ability to find deals with larger spread is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where else other than Cali are you guys trying to expand to?
So for fix and flipping, like specifically, we just started chatting yesterday about doing some stuff in Phoenix because I get like in my inbox like maybe 3 deals a day in Phoenix that
In Phoenix, really?
fix and flip. Yeah, Phoenix is huge, right? Just in Phoenix metro area, Mesa and stuff like that. And then Florida, I've been looking a lot in Florida because Florida has, even though the market's kind of really softening in Florida, it's really softening everywhere, but they have areas in Florida that have gotten flooded, and you buy the flooded property, you convert the already existing square footage, like garage or covered patio space, and you bump up your ARV from, like, 500 to, like, 700, and you're buying them for, like, 200. So they're huge spreads.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you fire sale it for 600 and you're still, like, making $150,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking at those and then, Texas, Houston, and Dallas. That's where like, where I know I have partners and then, is where I really try to focus on because that's the only way, personally, I can succeed right now until I get a more established,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
because
And
yeah.
when it comes to, like, the co-living side, like, where are you guys focused on there, and who are you working with all of
So
that?
co-living is well, right now I have actually have a active deal that I'm closing on at the end of the month. It's in Lakeland, Florida, which is
I actually know where Lake
oh,
Love is.
you
It's,
do?
like, in
Okay.
between Orlando and, Tampa.
Exactly, yeah, so when a wholesaler sent me the property, so I called, pad split rep out there, and she's like, "Yeah, Lakeland is growing." She's like, "We got a lot of investors that are investing out there. It's like a really hot spot." So, started looking. This property is currently a duplex. It's 9 bedroom, 3 bath, and we're converting it into 11 bed, 11 bath.
Wow, it's already big, and then you're able to add.
Yeah. It's so heated square footage is 3,700, and then if you add the covered patio space, it's like 4,700. So we're gonna convert a little bit of the covered patio space, and we're adding a laundry room upstairs, and then we're adding all the bathrooms and then 2 bedrooms.
Wow. So how much do you have to put into this?
So this one is actually, I'm doing a capital raise right now, and the way that we're doing the capital raise is it's a partnership. So anybody that comes on will be partner on the LLC. They will have So I'm giving away or I'm partnering with all the partners will be sharing 50% equity and 50% cash flow. So it's really good returns. Um, but we need $200,000 is the purchase. So we're purchasing seller finance. We're doing a conversion, which is about 100,000, furnishings about 20,000, and then reserves. So
A
yeah.
lot of factors.
Yeah.
So you're currently looking for people to invest into that.
Yeah. I already have P&Ls lined up that will help me start the project, and then I already have PMPs, private money partners that have already committed. I just We're just not fully committed yet. So we still have spots open for anybody that might want to invest, and it's as little as $5,000.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice. So people can start small.
yeah, yeah. And the great way about the way that we're doing it, so I'm doing it through a company called Fractional. Fractional, I don't know, are you familiar with Fractional?
No.
So Fractional is pretty new, but they've been around for about 2 years, and they just started kinda getting big because Pace Mortgage started pushing them in the community,
Oh, yeah.
and they are community members. Um, what they've created is a model to where you can take it's almost like a syndication model, but without syndicating, and it's so everybody is gonna be a partner on the platform sorry, on the LLC, but what Fractional does, that's not like nothing groundbreaking, right? That's pretty standard stuff, but what Fractional does is they are the third party that collects all the funds. They create the LLC, create all the JV agreements, create the operating agreement, and then not only that, they handle disbursements. The way their platform is set up is like anytime we have money going out for whatever it is, mortgage, the project itself at the beginning, that it's all tracked through their system. So every one of the members can go log in at any given time and see what the money's going to. And then they do the disbursements quarterly. So I don't have to go sit 4 hours and, send out 20 wires every quarter, right? And I don't want to be
Let a
responsible.
professional do it.
Exactly, right? So, and then to top that, at tax season, they handle all the K-1s,
Oh,
they do all of that filing, and it's like and they handle all the calculations, like all your tax like, they do it all. So that right there is worth, like, its weight in gold, like,
oh, yeah.
yeah, because I've set up LLCs with, like, 2 or 3 partners, and it's like
It's so much easier just to have, like, an expert do it. You know it's done right, you don't question anything,
Mhm.
and it takes all that stress away from you.
Yeah, and they charge so they are 2% of whatever you raise, which we actually factor that into the raise, so it's really not out of anybody's pocket, and then $2,500 a year, which I don't mind paying because
It's totally
it's
worth it.
hardly worth.
Just even to have that, like, stress-free, like
Yeah, and we're getting a ROI for our investors is like 23%. Really good.
so
Cash on cash around 12% minimum. That's super conservative. The property is gonna be bringing in about $13,000 a month after expenses, reserves, vacancy accounted for vacancies and everything, which I don't foresee us to being even vacant ever for more than a week because doing my market research in Lakeland, they don't have many one-to-ones. They have, your properties that are 5.2, 7.3, 8.3. So there's not really a lot of one-to-ones. I mean, there wasn't hardly any whenever I looked. So that for me, we're gonna be kinda like, well, those guys are at the top of the list because who wants to share a bathroom with anybody?
right.
Like, I don't yeah, I don't wanna share a bathroom with my son, right? That's somebody I don't know.
I half us up we have 3 bathrooms for me and Justin. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
I could go back to just one
No, one
bathroom.
outer room. Don't come in here, Justin. I want your hairs on the toilet.
And just even coming home after, like, a road trip or something, you both gotta pee, like,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, because originally we were gonna do 15 bed, 5 bath, and I'm like, no. I looked at the numbers, I'm like, we could do the same thing with adding, all these bathrooms as opposed to the bedrooms. We don't have to we don't have to move a lot of walls because the way that the property is set up, it has, like the center of the house has a lot of plumbing, and there's, like, these big rooms that you can't even use as rooms because they don't have egress, right? Because 'Cause they're in the center of the house, so we turn those into bathrooms, and it's enough space to have, like, a block of, like, 5 bathrooms
Oh,
in the
nice.
center of the house. So, and each room, will have, bedroom 1, bathroom 1, and they both have codes on the doors,
Oh,
so
that's nice.
nobody could use their bathroom, yeah.
So, with these, like, co-living, you have, like, codes on, like, the bedroom doors and on the bathroom doors then?
Well, for this one,
Oh,
wi
okay.
yeah, because unless the bathroom is inside of the bedroom, but some of the bathrooms, you'll have to walk out of the room and go to the hall, but that's your bathroom, right? That's your bath nobody else is gonna use your bathroom.
So, how does it work in other co-living spaces? Is it typical to have, like, like, the codes and stuff, or is it usually just, like, a door?
A lot of people do the, 3 to 1 model. So 3 bedrooms to 1 bath, right?
Okay.
I have a unit in Dallas that's 8 bedrooms, 2 bath, and it's fully booked.
Oh.
Like, they don't mind. Everybody gets along in the place, like, they've been there for 9 months straight. I think we've had 1 turnover. When we have a turnover, it feels real quick. So we've had 2 turnovers in 9 months. So, apparently people don't mind sharing because the price point is I think it's over 180 over there, right? For the private bath, we're charging almost $300, which is not crazy.
So, what's the average, like, difference between, like, getting an apartment for yourself, like a studio apartment versus getting, like, these co-living spaces?
Okay, so what is the average?
Like, for cost of rent, I guess.
So if I go get a studio apartment, maybe it costs me $1,000 a month. I have to go put a deposit, probably gonna 2 months rent, right?
Mhm.
First and last, and then I have to go get furniture, so whatever that costs. and then unless I just sleep on an air mattress, and then I have to, pay utilities. I won't sleep in the dark. So all of that is factored in whenever we're doing this co-living because they don't have to pay for any of that. They don't have to furnish it. They have to bring their bed linens and their towels, but they don't have to bring a bed. They don't have to bring a dresser. They don't have to bring a nightstand. And they don't have to pay utilities. It's all included. So there's a huge benefit, and they don't have to put a deposit
So it's good for, like, people either just trying to get, like, start back up or
or just
just
yeah,
don't have a lot.
yep. Don't know how to save.
Yeah.
Just living paycheck to paycheck. Only making $500 a week or $1,000 a week, and you got other obligations that you have to tend to. Maybe you got a child support or whatever it is that your life has. That you have created. That you have to take care of. And these are also good for, like, traveling professionals. Like, out here in Vegas, because Vegas is growing so fast, there's a lot of companies that bring in people to work, especially on these huge developments. You got people coming from all over, and they're staying in these, co-living style facilities, because it's cheap for the employer to put them up.
So are they, like, midterm leases or what kind of
So
lease
they
is it
are
really?
3-month minimum.
3-month minimum.
Yeah.
Okay.
And PadSplit just did that. I think they used to be a 1-month minimum, and they were charging 15%. 15% a month of whatever your gross is, and then they dropped it to 8%, but they take the first 10 days, 100% of the first 10 days, so it works out to like 12%. But they made the tenants sign a 3-month lease, so they couldn't, like, because the hosts like us, you're like, "You're gonna take our first 10 days, and what if they leave on day 30?" Like, we just got screwed.
Right.
Right, and we lost money, with that deal, so instead of them allowing them to only do 1 month, they do 3 months.
Okay. Which
Yeah.
is, I mean, not a bad commitment, I mean.
No, no, I
Right.
mean
Even for, like, a temporary job, usually it's, like, 3 months.
yeah, so that's cool. But yeah, that's kinda co-living.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've seen you, like, posting about this a little bit, so
yeah, definitely pushing that out there. Like I said, I wish I would've laser focused on that. I didn't really know much about it whenever I started, but
what led you into this? So, like, you were doing, like, the Airbnbs and, like, the wholesaling. What led you to the co-living?
well, so I started doing wholesaling because I ran out of cash because I spent it all on my Airbnb. I'm like, "Okay, what do I need to do here?" And it was like the easiest, lowest barrier, quickest way to make money in real estate. I'm like, "Okay, I don't have cash to put down. I don't have a name, or a bunch of PMLs or private money partners that I can go tap into. So I need to do something." So I started wholesaling, and then I think, I think the first year I didn't do anything. I mean, I wholesale some deals. Second year, I picked up 2 seller finance deals, and that's when I learned about pad split. I met do you remember Mandisa?
The name sounds familiar, but not
She used to be the pad split rep out here in Vegas. I think she moved on to do bigger and better things, but, uh, I met her, and then she introduced me to an investor that she works with out here. And me and him kinda hit it off, and I started learning about this pad spin. I'm like, "Wow, this is genius." Started running the numbers. I'm like, "This makes complete sense." I'm like, "I'm making, like, Airbnb money, but not having to deal with maids every other day, right? Not having to deal with constant." I mean, there's
constant turnover, like, it
yeah,
is, but it isn't.
less cleaning fees. Like, I might make $6,000 revenue, but I'm gonna spend $1,500 on a maid, right? Not on co-living, right? I'm not gonna spend the cleaning is, like, biweekly. You have a lady come in, she cleans all the common areas, the bathrooms, and then that's it. That's like $100 every other week, maybe a little more than that, but yeah.
That's kinda nice too
Yeah,
that you have that and it doesn't have to depend on the people that are living there to keep things.
right, yeah. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna be cleaning the maybe, like, once a month, the
The
one-to-ones.
one-to-one, they can be responsible for their own
Right, it's not
areas
shared. It's not
individually.
yeah, there's no commonality there, so,
So
uh
but they do have a common space there for, like, kitchen and stuff, right?
giant kitchen. This particular property has 2 kitchens. It will have 2 laundry rooms, and it has 2 and it has 2 dining rooms. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, and a lot of outdoor covered patio space. I don't know what they were doing when they built that, but huge.
It's perfect though for that type of environment because then they have space to like hang out.
Yeah, yeah, and the parking there is great too. It's like it's a corner lot, and then there's no houses. Well, actually, there's one house this way, and then dead ends. There's no houses this way, dead ends, cul-de-sac, and on the end of the dead end is just a field.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's like a perfect setup for like, you know, 10 cars.
What you need.
Yeah, I'm super stoked about it. Like I said, close at the end of the month, but still looking for private money partners if you're out there.
What else? What else you got going on? What else you wanna
Nothing. I mean, really, I'm steady in real estate. It's like real estate is one of those. Well, for me, it's been up and down, up and down, up and down. It's like I'm gonna make it. You wake up in the morning, you're like, yes, and then you read an email, you get a phone call, you're like, "Brr."
I'm pretty sure that exact experience is the reason Justin just solely focuses on commercial real estate now.
Hey, look, he found his lane. That's cool. That's what I'm thinking. I'm trying. That's like where I'm at right now. I'm like, I gotta give a shout out to my boy Michael Manatsakanian because he started an investor group. It's called Super Investor, and it's laser focused on buy and hold, specifically co-living, which is, in my opinion, the best asset class, the best little genre of real estate to be in right now. And just because it's the affordability is still not there, right? The government's not dumping tons of money into the economy right now. Housing prices are still up. Interest rates are still up, right? Rents, it's still where it was, 2 years.
Kind of leg level that.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. But even if it took a dip a little bit, it's still, I don't see rents ever really going down crazy unless there was just some huge recession, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, but so yeah, unless you just have an increase in wages, you're still gonna have this affordability problem. We're not stopping procreating. There's more and more people on the planet every day. So the co-living space, I think, especially like when you're looking at pad split, because the other co-living is not new, right? Just the pad split models kind of made it mainstream, if you want to call it, because they have a website or a platform that's like set up like Airbnb.
Yeah.
Like, you can go on there, I can go on there, and not everybody can get approved, right? I don't have a W-2, so they denied me.
I don't either, so
They denied me, right? And the cool thing is they do background checks, they do, employment verification, and I think they verify your income. And I think they use that, whenever you go link up your bank account and they use Plaid, right? It goes through, yeah. So I think it could see like all your transactions and have a program, computer program, probably AI or something, and it will let them know how much they can afford per week, and it will only let them rent what they can afford. So they're not renting stuff like, oh, this is so nice, and it's out of their budget. No, Passbook won't let them rent it.
and like your odds of like that being more secure than trying to manage something yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm not gonna be sitting there doing running background checks. This is not me, right? So
Well, and then I mean, even if you run the background checks, you look at all
right.
the documents and everything, it doesn't mean that you're in the clear.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. And they have people that slip through the cracks. The first property I had in Dallas, we had a gal that came in there that was supposedly in the army. I question that. But she wouldn't pay rent. Like, she stopped paying, and, like, every time my property management would go over there, he's like, had kinda softy, and I think I am too. Like, I'm not a hard landlord, like,
You're more understanding and
yeah, but it gets to a
empathy.
point, it's like, "Dude, you gotta put up or shut up and get the heck out," right?
Yeah.
And this one did not. She kept on lying, like, "Oh, I'm gonna pay today, I promise, I promise, I promise." And he'd be like, "Okay, I'm gonna give you tomorrow," and then tomorrow would come, she wouldn't pay, and it was just like, we locked her out, and she broke the door, she broke into the window, like, we're like,
Is this
then it took 3 months, and we got,
property damage too?
yeah, 3 months, and we got her out. That's the only thing I really don't like about pad split. They don't really help on the eviction. I mean, they're like, they'll tell the tenant like, "Hey, you're evicted. You need to get out." But as it pertains to anything else, they didn't.
They
They're
serve
not really.
notices, but
Yeah,
no, like
and then we have to go to the court. We have to do all of that stuff. So property management, and that's a process, it's aggravating. You gotta take time out of your day, and then you're not paying me, and I gotta go spend more time to go get you out, and you're still not paying me. It's like,
But the reward verse.
yes. So once we got her out, we got somebody in there that, pays rent on time, yeah, and, everything's been good since then, so,
The worst part about, like, something like that situation where they keep lying is the lies. Like, can't you just be
yeah,
honest?
right, you don't have the money. "Look, I'm not gonna pay you."
Like, yeah, just
I would
be
respect
honest.
that more, like, "Okay, you're not gonna pay me. I'm gonna."
Or at least I'm not gonna pay you because 'cause I'm in this situation or something, like, or I
Well, they always have a story.
at least just tell the truth. Like, the lying drives me nuts.
Yeah, yeah. Are the constant promises that are broken. So, like,
Yeah.
I have a tenant. I have one long-term tenant. I do not like a long-term at all. I don't underwrite anything for long-term. Everything I underwrite is gonna be for co-living or, like, short-term rental or something that's way more profitable than long-term. And I haven't had good luck with long-term tenants. Like, I have a long-term in Baton Rouge, have a lady, like, and this is our fault too. We let her slide, but we put an eviction on her door, and then she paid half of her what she owed, which she was, like, behind, like, 5 grand. She gave 2,500. I said, "Okay." I said, "I'm gonna need the," and I don't pay attention every month. Like, I'm busy trying to grow
It
the
should just be yeah.
my wife is doing the thing, and both of us are kinda like, when we talk to this lady, she's super sweet, I know I've been to her house, I see what's going on. She's super clean. She doesn't have a job. Her husband's a deadbeat, and, uh like, she's told me issues that have gone on in the past, like, just reached out to me, and I've tried to work with her, but now it's getting to the point, it's like, she pays, like, little bit, but she's, like, 7,000 behind now. I'm like, "That's $7,000 of money that I've had to spend on my mortgages because and you're over here living free." I'm like,
I'm
"You
like,
got."
she's never gonna catch up if she's paying less than she's
So we're gonna
supposed
go
to.
put a notice on her door again and see how much she comes up with, but
This is your only long-term tenant?
only long term. Only long term. The pain in my butt every month. It's like, I wouldn't, I'm not, if I do ever have a long term, it's gonna be something that's in a, like, a higher end area that brings in higher end tenants that actually are established and
Just somebody that doesn't wanna settle down but has the funds and the life to
right.
like,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
designable.
Like my buddy that yesterday, he does, like, 30 flips a year here in Vegas. He could buy a house, but he rents. He pays $14,000 a month on a mansion. Like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
want
him
I want
him.
I want him to be my tenant. Yeah, so
It's just harder to find those tenants.
yeah, well, you have to have the property, and that's,
Yeah,
the property's expensive, so
but,
yeah,
you know.
but yeah,
For now, short
yeah,
term.
yeah, yeah.
What's your, like, favorite part of being in real estate?
So I like on the fix and flip side, I like the design aspect and like going to create something. I can't say that I want to do fix and flips forever. I probably want to move to like new construction, which is really where I would, I think I enjoy a little more. And then, like, I really like Airbnbs. I like like being able to go in and design an Airbnb and then just have something like really nice and pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
And somewhere that I enjoy going, right? Unfortunately, I don't really wanna go stay at any of my co-living properties. They're not like dumps or anything, it's
It's
just
just not where you wanna
it's not
vacation.
pretty, right? Yeah, it's not like something that's like 2 different genres, but just the whole idea of owning real estate that is growing, in, equity, and as well, it's paying my bills every month. Like, I don't have to pay my mortgage because all my properties, even with the lady that's not paying, all the properties produce enough to pay
Hers and
what hers and mine. Yeah. Yeah. You're getting it for free, lady, not the law.
How long does it typically take to get a tenant out?
Louisiana fast.
Really?
If I get a court date today, like if she has to go to court today, I could probably go because it's not COVID. So during COVID, we had to kick a tenant out. She lied so much. She's like, "Yeah, I make $12,000 a month and I'm a nurse." And then like the second month, you're not paying. I'm like, what? Moved in September. You got evicted in November.
she like a traveling nurse?
No, she was
No.
just
Oh,
just
just
a liar bum that didn't wanna pay her rent, I guess. I don't freaking know. Like, a nurse in COVID doesn't have a job, like,
Yeah.
even the judge was like, "You have a job, supposedly, right? Go get a payday loan, right? If you actually have this job that you say you do, go get a payday loan and pay your bill, and you come back tomorrow," and because she was ordered to come back the next day, and she didn't pay it, so she had a U-Haul at the house that day, gone.
really?
Yeah. Yeah, the sheriff came to the door, but during COVID, it took us 2 weeks to get a court date, but, typically, I could probably get a court date in a week, and then 24 hours,
So
gone.
Louisiana is very like
Yeah.
landlord friendly.
Oh, super landlord friendly, yeah. That's where I've been kinda like, you know, I've been trying to work with this lady because I don't wanna and it's like catch-22, right? I evict you, and then I have to the place is empty, I probably gotta go spend money on paint, I gotta go spend maybe fix whatever might be, messed up, the tiles on the floor random we got a concrete slab, randomly, the tiles on the floor start buckling up, I'm like, "How did that even happen?" My dad's like, "Yeah, something under there must have come up." I'm like, "Dad, it's concrete."
Just like-
I go pull the tile up, there's nothing there but air, I'm like, "What's going on here?" Anyways, like, I go fix that, and so it's like, you evict them, you're not getting the money that you are owed, you have to spend more money, and you have to wait to put another tenant in and just hope that they're better than the first one. So
That's a lot.
trying to at least I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's kinda up in the air
Just,
right now.
just
We are definitely gonna go nail a another letter on her door to make
do you have somebody that can do that for you, or do you have to go out there to do that?
my mom.
Your mom will do it.
Yeah, she's an enforcer.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you talked about wanting to like invest it's the co-living, right, in California, right? Or
Definitely not.
not California?
Nope.
What were we talking about that was California?
Flips.
Oh, flips.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do
So
a flip
that's
in
different.
California.
That's
Yeah.
different because you're just selling it.
Yeah,
So
definitely not doing then the reason
I,
Pat
I
Swift's
was
not
gonna
is
say
yeah,
with the way they are with like they're not very landlord friendly.
not at all.
And
Like, I can go rent an Airbnb on the beach and not pay you and then just stay there.
there's like horror stories that I've heard at some of these meetups about California.
Look, if I ever get in a pinch and I can't pay my bills, I'm gonna go rent me something nice on the beach and just walk coming for you, Callie.
You know it's there.
Yeah, right.
Is
That's so crazy to me.
is there any states that you do any business in that are more like California where it's a lot harder for the landlords to kick people out?
Not that I know of.
No.
Most of the red states are landlord friendly.
Is that what you stick with?
Yeah, I mean, and then I just made the decision like a couple days ago because I was limiting myself to Florida and Texas. Well, just opened up kind of Florida, but Texas, and then here for co-living, which here I have a super hard time finding property. And so I just opened it. So now like Pad Split has a bunch of they probably got 20 core markets. I'm not gonna
Oh,
open up my, doors to all those markets, but I'm gonna start with a couple good performers, like Georgia is a really hot performer. Phoenix is a really good performer. So those 2, since, Georgia's close to Florida and Phoenix is close to here, I'm gonna start looking at those and have people sending me some stuff there. And still looking in, Houston and stuff because those are landlord-friendly states. I don't know
Texas is really good, I think.
yeah, I don't know their laws specifically, but, just from talking to other investors, they are more landlord friendly, and then you could it's a easy Google search.
Yeah.
Landlord friendly states, and it just but,
I feel for the people in states like California.
man, unless you're the people in the property.
Yeah. And then even then, I'm like, you suck.
Yeah, you have to pull some, like if there's a lot of money involved, like, especially, like, if somebody's trying to do that on one of those Airbnbs on the beach where you got, like, a $2-3 million property and you're spending, $15,000 a month on your mortgage, and you got somebody squatting in there, it's like, you might have to take matters into your own hands at that point.
Off record.
Uh, yeah, like, "Yeah, we're gonna send somebody in there that we don't know. They're coming for you."
Sometimes you gotta just handle it. Just sometimes it's not as easy as a court date.
Yeah, but, ah, my finger look at my finger, guys. I was, I was
Manual labor. This is why
yeah. So hey, look, real estate. Look, I've been in real estate for 4 years now. I have a background in construction. I was a pipe fitter for like 15 years, fabricator, really good at what I did. And I haven't done that for 8 years. And oddly enough, I had to take a job. I took a W-2 job last year. Um, to because it pays so well, I was able to like these W-2. The job that I took was like working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for like 30 days. And I could knock down like, I could take home after taxes like $25,000. So I'm like, okay, I'll just do that and pay down like 4 cards, right? Like
yeah.
little debt. So I did that. Well, while I was on that job, this was in October, I was working and I was in the pipe rack. We work on these huge pipes in the oil refineries. And I was using this tool called Sawzall, and I'm sawing this bolt because it's so rusted out. We have to remove this big valve, and the valve's like, it's like this big, huge. It's probably like 400 or 500 pounds. Sawing this stud, and the blade on the Sawzall, it caught and it kicked, and it had like another pipe above me, and my hand went bam. And I'm like, but it did it really fast and really hard. And I'm like, freaking hurt, man. I have these gloves. They're double insulated. They have these big like Gore-Tex things on it, like big rubber things, and they're actually really nice gloves because they're not so like they're not restricting that you can't move around. Whatever the inside layer is, it's like very movable. So it's not like, you put the like big winter gloves on and you're like, can't even do anything.
Yeah,
It's not like that. You could actually do stuff with these things. And they're very protective, which I really liked. But I'm like, okay, look the glove, nothing's wrong with the glove. I'm like, okay, must not be broken because I could do this. And I'm like, about to go back to work and I pull my glove off. And this finger was not it looked like a cut, but it didn't cut. It like the sheer force bow, blew the thing out. It had meat hanging out. I'm like, huh. It wasn't even bleeding, but it was like it was wide open, had literally had meat hanging out. I'm like, oh my God. And
it's crazy that you just didn't feel that there was anything.
I guess it was just the shock or,
Yeah.
and maybe, I don't know. It was like 5 a.m. too, 5:30 in the morning. We worked all night.
Just tired and out of it, and then the adrenaline.
Yeah, and it healed up really nice because you could barely see it, but just of late,
But it is double the size of your other one.
this just started happening like a week ago. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it seems like it's growing even more since yesterday. Might wanna go get that checked.
You might wanna go get that checked out. Man, have you tried to ice it or anything?
The wife keeps telling me to put ice on it, and I haven't done it. I can't put ice on my finger at type. I'm on the computer all day long.
That's true. That's true. I get it. I get it. But you've probably
I must just spraying it typing too fast.
you have to listen to your wife sometimes.
She does know best. I probably have a lot more money if I listen to my wife. Actually, I know I would. I'm 100%.
That's okay. You like taking risks.
Yeah, yeah. Took some risks back in the day as like detrimental. So I made a lot of money during COVID. I started a company that did $30 million in revenue in like 18 months, and I think my profits are like 1.8 or something. And that's when I started buying real estate. That's when I got into real estate, and I spent a lot of money on my properties, and I still had a nice little chunk left. And me and my business partner at the time, we knew this other guy that was in the same industry, and he was like, he came to us. He's like, "Hey, I got this deal." He was from Hawaii, and he sold a lot of gloves. And at the time, COVID, it was like the beginning of 22. COVID started coming down. So he said, "Hey, everybody in Hawaii, the prices are double in Hawaii. Prices for a box of gloves, like in the height of the pandemic here, was sometimes $18 for a box of like latex nitrile gloves, right? Well, at this particular time, that we could buy boxes for like in between $3 and $5 a box. Well, in Hawaii, they were selling between $7 and $9 a box. So we're like, okay, we buy them here, we spend $1 to ship them across the water, and then we sell them and we make good profit. So the plan was we'd put up each of us between the three of us, like me and my partner, put up like 900,000. He puts up 900,000, we buy all these gloves, and we're due to make about $300,000 a month each. That was the profit. So it's like, made sense. We double checked the stuff in, Hawaii, the prices and stuff, prices were there. Well, we sent we sent money to a company, a glove company, bought some gloves. We sent gloves money to another glove company. We sent money to him, and it happened so fast, like, within a couple weeks, and then we were like, "Okay, well, did the gloves arrive? Like, what's going on? Like, we sent all this money, like, where's" Long story short, the guy finally said, "Yeah, I scammed y'all." He literally said he's
Oh my
and
god.
then to top it off, he was, like, on, he was wanted by the feds. Then he jammed out of the country, was in Mex went to Mexico. I heard that he was at, like, a safe house being and paying a cartel to protect him at a safe house while they got him papers so he can go to China, where he was going to China with this supposed billionaire lady that scammed my partner out another $200,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy," and then it was so crazy too because the guy was, like, so believable. He was like the master scam artist. He even played me and my partner against each other where we were, like, beefed out. Like, my partner sent money to that lady for this other deal that they were doing that I really didn't know much about because we were so beefed out, he wasn't even gonna include me, right? Which, whatever, he sent his money, I'm not responsible for what you do, you know?
Honestly, Finley, did you a favor by not being
Yeah, I'm like, "We're already in the hole with this guy, like, a mill, right, that he hasn't paid us, admitted to scamming us, and you're gonna send another 200
that's insane.
to this lady without a contract?" I'm like,
The lesson was not learned.
"Yeah, not the first time." So, yeah, so that was, like, all of my extra cash. Thankfully, I had already established my short-term rentals, and they were performing. So that's when I had to dive into the world of real estate wholesaling.
It's
Uh,
an adventure.
yes, it's definitely I like wholesaling for the active income. I don't like the day to day. I'm not gonna be on the phone.
It's a hustle.
Man, and then, well, wholesaling is there's 2 sides of it. You got the whole acquisition side, and then, okay, we got a property, now what? Where's the buyers at? They don't just flock to you.
No.
You have to go find them just like you found the dang property. So that's a whole process in itself, which over the course of the past, 2.5 years or whatever it's been, we've built a buyers list, you know, we've built a system for the acquisition side, and we do mostly I think we'd have made I know we'd have made more money if we would have focused on cash deals, but we do a lot of creative deals. A lot of seller finance, subject to, and then the cash deals trickle in. We've made most of our money on cash deals, so it's just cash deals is a whole different animal for marketing. You could do on market marketing for cash, like, direct to agent, which is what we do for our creative ones. But if you really want to do some damage with cash, you have to do like your PPC and, like get some ads going and stuff, which a lot of people that are doing that, they are successful. Not everybody is, right? You still have to have the follow up, but
It's good to, like, focus on one avenue, though, because I feel like when you go, like, all these different ways, you're not
yeah,
actually mastering anything
no,
specific.
yep. I feel like we've mastered the direct to agent. And a direct to agent, the great thing about direct to agent is this. If you have one agent that can bring you 10 deals a year, um, and you do that 10 times, that's 100 deals that agents are bringing you, and you only have to nurture 10 relationships. If you want to do 100 direct to seller deals, you have to build 100 rapports with 100 different people and do that over and over again. So that's like the hamster wheel of that, right? So it's definitely beneficial to build good relationships with agents, and we've, we started campaign for that because we talk to a lot of agents, right? Ben, my partner, he's on the phone with agents all day long. That's all he does. Uh, but we're also bringing on some new people to kind of actually nurture relationships, and we want to start doing it to where, you know, kind of follow what Jamil Damji does. He partners up with agents where he actually gives them a piece of the wholesale fee, so it's that worth it needs to be worth their while. They're like, "Why don't I just list this?" Right? It makes a listing fee, right? Well, we can close a lot faster. You don't have to go in the MLS. You don't have to do this, and we'll give you a decent size commission where you're doing very little work, right? Listing a property is a lot of work. Um, from what I know, right? I'm not an agent. Any of you unicorn agents out there, hit me up.
Still trying to network.
Always.
Um, is there anything else you wanna talk about?
I just wanna ask you, where does the messy on purpose come from?
So, the messy on purpose was I started this with my friend Heather.
Okay. I think I've
She
seen it.
has to go focus on other stuff, so I'm kind of branching out on my own. But the biggest message I get from it is so life is messy.
Mhm.
A lot of things like social media or like even these mentor programs, if you really think about it, they don't cover the messiness a lot. It's all like
Mhm.
all the shiny stuff, all the success, all the things that you can get,
Yeah.
right? But it doesn't cover the messy. So the idea is to bring out the messy in life and show people that like you're not alone, everyone's struggling, and hopefully you can learn something from everybody else's experiences.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you wanna see messy, go look at my Facebook post. My most recent story. Literally, the wife records, she's like, "Okay, go," and I'm like, "The flex, the why much?" Like,
I have
"Okay,
not
guys."
seen it yet, but I need to see this.
It's like, I don't even know what to do. Turn the camera on, I'm like, "Yeah."
But like a good example is like you were talking about how you got scammed. Like
Yeah,
people don't talk about that,
yeah.
you know? So we were doing the sub-2ing the vehicle stuff. We basically sub-2 our cars to a scam artist in Phoenix.
What?
Yeah, so, I mean, like, things happen and it's messy,
Oh,
you know?
that's why he didn't wanna sub to me the Jeep.
Eh so, yeah, sub-2'd to, Brandon. You didn't hear about all that?
Uh-uh. No, I have 2 sub 2 vehicles out.
So, yeah, we sub-2'd him to Brandon, who then was leasing them to other people,
Okay.
but then stopped paying on them, and he ended up being involved in, like, a bunch of scam stuff, and his dad is, like,
Who's fair?
famous for I can't remember his last name.
Is he like
He's
a
in
sub
prison
2?
now,
Oh. Oh, was
so
okay. Been there, done that.
but he's a huge scam artist, his dad was a huge scam artist, and, like, it's so, I mean, things happen, and it's just
Yeah.
that's the whole purpose is just to bring that to light,
That's
so
good. Yeah, my life has definitely been messy. It had some peaks and valleys for sure. Uh,
We all have it, some worse than others.
yeah, my valleys actually brought me to a super high peak, because I did a little vacation time for like 4 years, and a lot of guys in there, they're like always said this super cliche, right? But they're like, um, if I can remember it correctly, the bigger the setback, the greater the comeback. I'm like, "Yeah, that makes sense, but, let's be real." And then I got off vacation and I'm like, I had a huge comeback. Like, I got out with $400 and then went on to, you know, generate $30 million in revenue in like less than 2 years. So, yeah. And now I own, a couple $1,000,000 in real estate and still growing that, moving faster now that I'm more focused. So,
S
yeah, it's been
sometimes those little setbacks or situations that we get ourselves into teach us something to be able to be successful if we channel it right.
yeah, definitely that type of setback. That's what they put you there for. That's it.
No, but then not everybody comes out.
Oh my god, I would say 90% of the people in there, it's just another home, another place for them to do the same thing they were doing.
They're just continuing the
They
same
didn't
path within the
Yeah,
walls.
I mean, it's easier to get, it it's easier to get drugs in there than it is out here.
That's insane.
Wild. Alcohol too. I'm like, "What?" They come in my room, like, when I got there my room, my cell when I got there, and they're like, "Hey, man, what's your deal? Heroin, speed?" Like, "What? No, dude, I'm here because of that."
Like, I'm not trying to conceal it.
Bro, look, I had showed him the Bible. I said, this is my heroin right here, dog. This is"
Is that what got you through?
I mean, so I've been a Christian my entire life. Well, I say my entire life since, I started going to church whenever my mom and dad brought me there. But yeah, I got saved as a young kid, and then I got filled with the Holy Ghost when I was like 12. And then I grew up, and then kind of like, we moved to California. I got into messed up in drugs and started messing around. Got out of that a little bit and got a career. But you know, it says in the word, it says, like, "You bring your kids up in the word, and they'll never depart from it," right? So, that's kinda how what happened, and I just took the time in there to get super close and learn as much as possible. I read the Bible front to back, like, 2 or 3 times and then studied it intently while I was there. I had Bible studies I was holding once a week. Led of, like, 12 people to Christ in there, and which was a big thing, and, yes, it you know, when I talk about it to some people, I'm like, "That was the best time of my life as it pertains to my relationship with the Lord." Like, no other place could you just spend hours and hours and hours and just have no other, and I obviously didn't have any responsibilities in there. And, the ones that I had out here, they couldn't do anything about it, so I just had to remove it, right? But just, the time that I was able to allot, and it's just, you know, me as just a man grew through that and in that, and yeah, it did help. It's always knowing that he's there, he's still here today. But the hardest part about being away was being married. My wife thankfully stayed with me, but you can be away from your family and your friends. They're always going to be there, right? But when you have to pick up the phone every day and talk to somebody that's like super sad, lonely, misses you, angry at you, all these emotions at the same time, that's the difficult part.
Well, it's different because like, they choose you, right? Like,
Mhm.
your spouse chooses you,
Right.
whereas they can also choose to leave you.
Right, absolutely, right? Uh, I had to put up with that, right, because she was staying with me, right? So, that was the hardest part, but other
Was it, like, more of not necessarily from a selfish view, but more of, like, a feeling bad that she's hanging on kind of feeling? Or was it, like, more of, like, you felt
I felt horrible about
like
that was the hardest part for me was knowing that she was going through the
that
that
was the hard part?
yeah, that was the hard part for me. Everything else was good, man. I learned how to type, I learned Excel, learned Word. I got really, really in shape, like I am pretty much stay in shape my entire life, but, just hit the gym every day, like, just running, like, I was, like, super fast, cardio like crazy. I go like, eh. Now I'm like, I got a little belly. I'm messy now. This is messy. This is being fed really good.
That's what diving diving headfirst into real estate does to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't sit too much.
Keyboards.
Yeah, keyboard.
We joke a lot
Share
about, like,
screen.
keyboard hands.
Yeah. Here, oh, I got a spraying one up there.
That was not for the keyboard.
But yeah, uh, that's my messy life.
Yeah, it it's all messy.
You know?
We just all face it differently, and we
Yeah.
face different situations, and we come from different situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But
Cool.
you're thriving.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
if anybody's interested in getting into, like, the co-living, what
Yes.
would you suggest?
I would like to add, I didn't mention it a minute ago, but if you do invest with me, you now can add a portfolio of 11 door co-living facility to what your existing portfolio, or if you're just a brand new investor, you'll have this to use as collateral, clout, whatever you want to call it, to say, you're now a real estate investor with as little as $5,000. Now, if you wanna find me, Aaron Lambert on Instagram, Aaron Lambert underscore. I got a YouTube channel, Aaron Lambert. Everything's Aaron Lambert. Pretty easy to locate. I think my phone number is even on my Facebook page. So reach out, DM me, whatever. We can link up. I can show you what's going on, what I got going on, and love to connect. Yeah.
Any advice besides connecting with you when it comes to getting into real estate or co-living or any of this work being
I would say advice for anything in life is whatever it is you want to do, take action. Take action. If you just sit there and just like, what do they call it when you just, you know, consume a bunch of information, but you don't do anything? There's a word for it, but
I'm like, now I'm blinking. I'm like,
so y I was that, right? I consumed all this information, but you're not gonna get anywhere unless you start taking action. So take action on whatever it is that you do, whether it be real estate, business, even in your just W-2, if that's what you wanna do, get better at whatever it is you do, and use AI. AI is the way of the
that's amazing. Yeah.
I know AI too. Look, I
This was made with AI.
oh, that's sick. I did a little reel the other day. I just dropped this, said, "Okay, add some AI magic," and I tapped in. I'm like, "Oh, this is dope."
It's awesome, and, like, the more you use it, the more little things you learn. That's great. I love it.
Yeah, AI is what's up. So that's my advice to you.
Good advice. Alright,
Yeah,
well, is that it? Is there anything
I'm
else?
good.
Okay, so you're good, I'm good. Alright, thanks, guys. Until next time. Bye.